Michael Checker says leaving act Brumbies captain Sam Carter out of a trimmed 34-man Wallabies squad was the toughest decision he had to make, but he believes 20-year-old Queensland Reds rookie Zach Rodder can push for a spot in the Bledisloe Cup opener. Carter was the most notable absentee from Cheker's squad, which featured only 6 representatives from the Brumbies, followed by Western Force back rower Richard Hardwick, who was also omitted. Brumbies captain Sam Carter has been dumped from the Wallaby squad. Photo Siklakai Ditlevong. The Brumbies' 6 players in the squad compares with 9 representatives from the NSW Waratahs, 7 from Queensland, 6 from Western Australia and 5 from Melbourne. Carter, 27, started for the Wallabies in 2 of the 3 June tests but has clearly lost Cheker's faith 2 weeks out from Australia's next match against the All Blacks in Sydney. His own man Michael Hooper. Photo Daniel Munoz. That was probably the most difficult one, Checker said. That's a position where we're looking for someone to step up and claim that job. They're going to be competing against 2 of the best locks in the world in the matches coming up against New Zealand, and we've got to be up to the challenge. Although Checker has other second rowers Adam Coleman, Rory Arnold, Rob Simmons and Kane Douglas at his disposal, the inclusion of Rodder has turned heads given he has played an average of 35 minutes in his 12 Super Rugby appearances. He's definitely not there as a development player. He's there to contest for the lock position in the team, Checker said. He's a big body, I like his attitude. He's tough and he's prepared to push himself. I've seen that in the training. I see a good future for him. In other selection news, Western Force midfielders Billy Meeks and former NRL player Curtis Rona have been retained in a group of 7 uncapped players including the likes of Adam Korchak, Marika Korobiti and Isaiah Perry's. All throughout the year they've played with a lot of edge and energy, said Checker of Meeks and Rona. Jordan Uwais has been named as the 3rd hooker in the group behind Stephen Moore and Tatafu Politano following impressive performances at the recent World U20 Championship. Tolu Latu was unavailable for selection, given he is still recovering from a neck injury. There's no risk playing him, Checker said. If the guys in the squad he's ready to play, he's going to be inexperienced for sure, but mate, I've seen the work he's done so far and the stuff he's done with the under-20s and he's eager. Latu needs a bit more work under his belt to get to that standard before he comes into the team environment. Following Michael Hooper's appointment as full-time Wallabies skipper on Wednesday, Checker has opted for the experienced pair of Foley 45 tests and Genia 78 tests to be the side's vice-captains for the upcoming international season. Willie, I've really been happy with him since he's come back from overseas and he's got a real renewed commitment to excelling here, Checker said. For Bernard, it's starting to drop for him finally. That helps a senior player and he needs to be setting the standards. He's starting to find his voice a little more. It's a nice fit for the captain, Jermaine Ainsley, Peck Cowan, Sef Fagace, Taniela Tupou and Campbell Magnay also failed to impress Checker enough to earn selection. Checker said the final group of 34 players were selected on a mixture of Super Rugby form but also degree of reputation. You want to be picking everyone who has got form in Super Rugby, but there were some selections in that squad that aren't Super Rugby form, Checker said. Kane Douglas is not. I want to push him to get something out of him. That Super Rugby form is in the past now. It's not going to give us anything when we turn up on the 19th of August. Sefa Naivalu was not included in the squad because of an ongoing ankle injury that proved to be more problematic than first expected when medical staff monitored him in Newcastle last week. Sean McMahon and Nick Phipps are well and truly on the mend from injuries that ruled them out of June, while Tatera Faulkner is back in the mix for the first time since 2014. Checker expects Kurt Leby to begin full training next week when the team heads to Cessnock for a camp. Wallabies 34-man squad for Bledisloe Cup opener forwards Alan Alatoa, 12 tests, Brumbies Rory Arnold, 12 tests, Brumbies Adam Coleman, 12 tests, Western Force Jack Dempsey, 1 test, NSW Waratah Skane Douglas, 31 tests, Queensland Red Tara Faulkner, 2 tests, Western Force and Hannigan, 3 tests, NSW Waratah's Michael Hooper C, 68 tests, NSW Waratah's Seko Kepu, 80 tests, NSW Waratah's Adam Korchik, Queensland Red Ian McMahon, 15 tests, Melbourne Rebel Stephen Moore, 120 tests, Queensland Red Tafu Politano, 71 tests, Western Force Tim Robertson, 9 tests, NSW Waratah's Isaac Rodder, Queensland Reds Rob Simmons, 71 tests, Queensland Reds Skitsio, 32 tests, Brumbies Lopeti Tamani, 7 tests, Melbourne Rebels Jordan Ulis, Melbourne Rebels backs Courtney Beale, 60 tests, NSW Waratah's Israel Folau, 55 tests, NSW Waratah's Bernard Foley VC, 45 tests, NSW Waratah's Will Jenny VC, 78 tests, Dane Haylett Petty, 17 tests, Western Force Reese Hodge, 13 tests, Melbourne Rebel Samu Karavi, 8 tests, Queensland Reds Marika Korabiti, Melbourne Rebel Savita Kuradrani, 47 tests, Brumbies Billy Meeks, Western Force Isaiah Perry's, Queensland Reds Nick Phipps, 52 tests, NSW Waratah's Joe Powell, 2 tests, Brumbies Curtis Rona, Western Force Henry Spate, 12 tests, Brumbies denotes uncapped.